Right, Nutrien spring sale starts this Friday, completes Monday afternoon about 6 o'clock, then a little bit of time after that. Clinton Mcswain joins me. Clinton, firstly, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Campbell. How are you?
You keep that Mr. Campbell up and you're going to be barred from Campbell's comments, I can tell you that now. You are deputising for Jolene, and we will go in just have a little chat about that in a second, mate. But yourself and Jolene are offering up lot number 32 in this year's sale. I actually went to all the trouble, and I'm going to show. I got the picture of her, which you brushed her. You took the time out, which I think is sensational, to put up onto the website. I encourage everyone to go to the website, nutrienequine.com.au, down the bottom of the page there. Follow the links to the sale. This is lot number 32. Well done. But you've gone above and beyond. You've gone and got her.
This is her. That's her. There she is.
You went and...
I actually had to bring her into a smaller yard because she's out with another mare who's due within the week, and she's a little bit cranky, so I thought I'd better just separate them for the purposes of this meeting.
It's probably not it's probably better for your safety, that's for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
You said on the little spreel you have down there, a reluctant sale. This horse is a little bit of a family pet, to say the least.
Yeah, well, she was purchased. We and friends of ours from Bathurst who we met through our journeys to the Bathurst Carnival, we bought one prior to her, which ended up being from the west, which ended up being a trotter. And she was actually at the time, going along really well, and we asked for the first, right on this mare. Because from the west, although being a trotter, which didn't suit my New South Wales clients, but suited obviously the Victorian way of racing, they went out and bought her. We had her vetted and that, and the vet basically just said, just buy her, which they did. And yeah, we've had her since, weanling. She, off Liz Burney there at Bathurst, at Alabar. And so she's actually just turned into, one of the family. And, it's hard to explain to the kids why, they're losing one of the horses, but when you put it in simplistic terms, that the sale of these horses, which we deem as fairly high quality in a stud book, it can only help not only our business but the kids' future, really. Yep,
and it is always very hard, and it's always very hard when they are a family pet. And you can see there, she's not camera shy in any way.
Yeah.
I'll say she was a modest performer. I'm probably overrating it. Like, she had the 15 starts and didn't win, but she showed a lot from time to time. She showed a lot at the trials too, didn't she?
Yeah, she had a lot of issues, Paul. She had we took her to Bathurst. She only had 3 starts as a 2-year-old. We took her to Bathurst because the owners basically lived there, and her run in the heat of the Tiara I thought was pretty good. She got beaten by 50 metres, and people are going to say, well, she had 50 metres. You've been absolutely hammered. But My Sweet Chili Filly won the heat, and she was airborne at the time. But I think if you go back and look at that replay, she drew 8, which is outside of the front row up there at Bathurst. She went back. She was a long, long way back, but she never stopped trying all the way to the line, and that's what impressed me about that run. And then even in a consolation run, she got beaten by another really top mare at the time, Soho Burning Love, won that consolation. And Bernie Hewitt drove her that night, and she said, she's a nice mare, she's just got to learn to sprint. And that's one thing she sort of never learnt to do. And then if you go back and look at some of her run at Swan Hill, where she sat outside, I think it was Amendment 13, and the only horses that beat her home that night, I think they went 56 over the mile as a 3-year-old. Amendment 13 ran second. That's the only horse, and the horse that won a tap on the lead, and nothing else ran past her. So she didn't have that high speed, but she just kept, she put her head down and had a go. And even a run, I think it was a midweek Melton meeting, she ran 6 that day. She sat 3 wide the last lap and a little bit. She ran 6. But she's been beaten 9 metres, and I think, remembering going back looking at the sectional time, she ran the quickest last half.
Yep.
In that race. So, yes, her figure form looks ordinary, but, you can look back at the summer runs and they were commendable. But she did have a lot of problems too, Paul, which I alluded to. She tore a tendon sheath as an early 3-year-old, and that was probably the beginning of the end. We just had non-stop issues after that, and eventually, I think it was the February she broke down. So it was after breeding season. So we kept her in work actually, because we have a walking machine and an equine machine here. So we kept her moving. Tried the rehab. We got back to the. We took her to a green trial, just a run around before the trials here at Bendigo. I think I took 2 that night, and I got Matty Gaff to drive her, and even I was following him, and you could just see she didn't want to be a racehorse anymore, and I couldn't bear to push her anymore. So she didn't totally break down again, but I didn't push her to that point because at that stage she was already in foal with Vincent.
Yep.
So we had Plan B already on the go if she did go again. So we had plenty of more days to race her again. I think you get 100 odd days after they get a test positive or get being inseminated. But yeah, I couldn't bear to push her and actually totally break her down because like I said, she was fairly valuable to not only me but the family, and we decided to pursue a breeding career with her.
She's beautifully bred by Big Jim out of Miss Saxony, Miss Saxony is actually a half sister to Shadow Sax, recently retired, amongst a few others. You've got mares like Stylish Jasper and that back in there as well, who not only a great performing horse but also a broodmare gem as well already. Stylish Jasper had 3 foals for 3 winners, I think, too. So it's a cracking family. You said there you got a Vincent colt on the ground. She's actually in foal, and this is the kicker with this mare because she's in foal to Captain Crunch, who stood for 6,750 the year you put her in foal. And he booked out in half a day. I rang Brett Coffey. I had to talk to Brett about something else, and I just asked him. I said, he was booked out in a day, and Brett goes, actually it was half a day, but who's picking? But that was
less than 3 hours.
Yeah, that was a popularity of Captain Crunch. People missed out. A lot of people missed out. Here's your opportunity to get one of those progeny.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, we were sort of, and I hope I don't get anyone in trouble for this, but we sort of had the tip off that Captain Crunch was coming to Alabar, so we sort of, put our name on the pre-bookings list, and when it was announced, we were basically already in the door. So, but with that in mind, that's why we went to a first season sire, and I looked at his credentials in America and watched a few of his races, and I thought, inject a bit of his speed into her, and you're going to have a really nice progeny. So, like I said, hope I don't get anyone into trouble for that little information I gave you. But when we looked at breeding with her, we sort of had to go to the top end. If we're looking at sales, yearling sales or anything like that, we thought, well, that was their best avenue.
Absolutely. If anyone can hear a low humming noise, I have a little kitten in here, and she's walked across the printer and set it off, and I can't turn it off. So I apologise. I do apologise for that. They can do anything.
Or it could be just the horse going to sleep.
It could be the horse going to sleep. That is exactly right. She's a beautiful mare. She's, as we said, a daughter of Big Jim, very closely related to Shadow Sax, Stylish Jasper, and plenty others. I think I wrote there 7 individual winners in her family. I think there's 2 that haven't won. She's one of them, and I think the other one's only had 1 or 2 starts as well. So it was lightly raced as well.
Wendy's watching who I train.
Yep.
And I've got the yearling filly out of her as well, out of Miss Saxony as well.
Yep, very good. So there's plenty.
It was actually by Vincent.
There's plenty of them. This horse does have a reserve with it, I think, Clinton.
She will. We spoke to a lot of people about putting a reserve on and what they thought, and the common thing that really come back to us was what you alluded to there is a very popular first season sire and her age.
Yep.
Along with her breeding, of course, but those are the 2 things that a lot of people alluded to was obviously her age and the popularity of the sire that she's enfolded.
Absolutely. This is lot number 32 in the spring sale for Nutrien. Go to nutrienequine.com.au, follow the links to the spring online sale, and you'll be able to see them there. Clinton's doing a great job of selling them. I'll tell you, he's a used car salesman. He is doing a terrific job. anyone who's watching, it's off an iPhone, so there's two black bars next to it. I'm not cutting anything out. It's just one of the tricks that we have. Don't turn the phone around, Clinton, because otherwise I'll lose everything. It's just the way we have it set up. Mate, I alluded to just there before that you're deputising for Jolene. We would got a lot bigger ratings if Jolene was on camera. I've got no doubt about it. But I would like to pass on my condolences to just not only her but the entire Morrissey family of the passing of their mother and grandmother. Very popular lady in harness racing here in Bendigo, and Jolene can't be with us tonight because of factors involved with that. So I think from everyone that's watching this, mate, we'd like to pass on our condolences to the entire Morrissey family. And anyone that doesn't know, I can promise you, it is a massive family. It's not a little family, it is huge.
Hey, don't worry, it's that big. I remember when we had an engagement party, I introduced the wrong grandmother to my own grandmother, so I hit it off really well straight away. That's how big it is. So, yeah, I was kicking goals from day one.
You were indeed, mate. I'll let you go. You've got a few things to do, but thank you very much for joining me, mate. Good luck. Tune in Campbell's comments on Monday night, just before 6 o'clock. I'll be going live. We'll be bringing some updates on how the sale's going, but good luck, and yeah, hopefully everything goes well, mate.
Yeah, happy to take any calls anyone's got. We can take some pictures of the Vincent colt too if anyone wants to see what progeny she does leave. He's a little bit on the smaller side, being a first foal, but in 6 months' time, you never know what they can turn into. But yeah, happy to take any calls or inquiries into this mare or what she has left. And yeah, we look forward to the sale and you know what the future holds.
Clinton Mcswain, thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.